Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video, and welcome back to another update on Ripple and XRP. If you guys like Ripple or XRP or both, make sure you press the like button on this video right now because I think it is going to be a pretty interesting video. $1 Million Ripple initiative aims to make XRP and blockchain like Amazon Web Services for money. So if any of you don't know AWS, Amazon Web Services, then you've probably been living under a rock. But now, here a person on Daily Hodl actually compares what they're doing with Ripple/XRP to what Amazon Web Services has been doing for a little while now, and also what the goals are there. But then, not completely the same way as AWS, but in this case, XRP does it in terms of money. So I need to quickly explain that a little bit further because otherwise it is quite hard to understand. Well, a little bit ago we heard that the head of Ripple's fundraising arm Spring says the company is shifting its focus to directly help developers build on blockchain, crypto, and XRP. We've actually seen a lot of things come out to help developers to grow on XRP and also to really get the XRP ledger more out there into the crypto space, and not only for its XRP coin / token, but really for the whole ledger, for anything, right? So they're really trying to promote a lot of people building something with it, and that's really what we've been seeing quite recently here. Ethan Beard tells Forbes that Spring's new platform for developers is designed to give companies tools to easily integrate crypto-based payment solutions, similar to the way Amazon Web Services offers a myriad of ways to create scalable applications in the cloud. It's designed to remove the pain and the messiness of integrating money into apps, kind of like AWS, but then for money. It's a platform for all developers, not just developers in the blockchain and crypto space, but all 23 million developers around the world. Beard says Ripple is specifically pushing to grow use cases for XRP, which is again one of the main uses for Spring. Again, Spring is the investment arm of Ripple, spreading and kind of emancipating, however you want to word that, the growth / spreading of XRP. And yeah, they're doing a very good job at that as well. Ripple specifically pushing the grow use case for XRP and the Interledger protocol, a platform designed to provide a backbone for the efficient movement of payments across different ledgers. More specifically, what we're aiming to do with this platform is provide developers with various tools, services, and programs to make it easier for them to build on the XRP ledger and to also leverage Interledger protocol, or short ILP. Ultimately, we want the Spring platform to bring money to the internet at the same core level as text, images, and video today. And we've heard a lot about these motivational quotes over time here, how there is right now a little bit of an issue going on still where anything can be moved online like in a snap of a second, a video, an image, text, just like that. But money around, moving money around is still a little bit of a hassle, and they want to make moving money around as easy as it is to move the rest. Guys, I've been actually getting a little bit more active on Twitter. All right, a lot of you guys asked me to comment on here a little bit more often what I think, because some of y'all said my stance on XRP is not too open, or you guys don't get it. Well, I'm going to be trying to put out more tweets as I think of them, or as I think something is messing me up or bothering me. So make sure you go ahead and follow me on Twitter. The name is on here, TheDustyBC, @TheDustyBC. So make sure you just quickly give me a little follow on Twitter. And I try to post as many cool tweets as I can, guys. I try, but I'm a little bit new to Twitter. So you just send me stuff if you want. I'll always check it out in my notifications tab. So make sure you do that. If you send me a private message, the chance of me seeing it is pretty small. But notification, I mostly see it. Jana One Trick on Twitter said, the XRP liquidity on Bitso already reached a peak level of Sunday, which had a massive increase, and there is still 12 hours left before it closes. 1310 Sunday's liquidity, 1710 today's liquidity, exactly half of the day. So Sunday, we had some crazy liquidity. You can see how positive it was. You can see here at the bottom here what date. You can see how positive this all was, right? That's just completely insane. That's a lot of liquidity, and that's a new peak. Now, at the end here, the 17th, 1710, we're halfway through the day, 12 hours in, and we're already at half of that volume, meaning of course the peak is probably a lot higher. Global Macro Punk said on Twitter as a reply, peak XRP liquidity is someone, MoneyGram, gonna get big changes in negative free cash flows thanks to ODI. XRP is going to change the world, especially when MGI shows these businesses benefits in Q4 accounts. Well, guys, again, Swell, I think, is going to be showcasing to us a couple of really interesting results. And again, that's also kind of going to summarize / lay out what Q4 is going to be looking like. I mean, if Swell is completely negative, then Q4 is most likely also not going to be so good for Ripple and XRP. And if Swell is really positive, I think they have a really good Q4 to come. I think we should all be pretty excited for that if and when Swell comes. Before that, though, Thursday morning action XRP, and I think the point that he's trying to make here is that there's just a ridiculous amount of trades going on here and a ridiculous amount of money being pumped through the world, and a couple of people mentioned exactly the same reference from Fiat Leak, just showcasing where the money is flowing and how it's all going right now. Yeah, it's a lot of money flowing around. And by the way, guys, this is all scams. Make sure you don't fall for it. Please don't fall for scams if you can avoid it. But yeah, there's a lot of money being flown around through XRP. You'll find it all the time. I mean, just look through your feed if you follow some XRP people, and you'll see them. Yeah, you'll see a couple of those tweets. XRP's technical indicators are bullish in anticipation of Ripple Swell. Ripple Swell, the real big subject of the last couple of days. We've been discussing Swell since, I don't know, whenever, like a couple of months ago even. I think it was July when we first started to mention the consequences of Swell 2019. I think we got back to it somewhere in August where I made another video explaining what I think about the event, what I think is going to happen this year, and also in terms of lead up, what I think was going to go on. But now we're almost getting close to 2 weeks before Swell, right? When usually in the last 2 years the gains happen, and we're already seeing quite some nice XRP figures here. Plus 5.3%. That is looking pretty juicy, if I do say so myself. Now, one thing I also went to state on Twitter is right here. Swell hype is doing its work for XRP as we speak. None of these gains can be trusted, in my opinion. Traps everywhere. I should have placed though in there maybe, but it doesn't really matter too much. The whole idea here is that the price is looking quite juicy right now, really quite good. But as I've told you guys in a couple of the books I've been reading, for example, The Intelligent Investor. I'm just going to look it up on the side here. In that book, which I showcased you guys previous time, and again, I'm not trying to sell this book or anything. That's not what I'm doing it for. But I told you that buying a coin when it's going down or when it's in the minors is actually, most of the time, a lot more profitable than buying it when it's at the top, right? And a lot of you guys commented like, you're a freaking idiot or you're stupid or things like that. But in the end, if you scroll through this book and you start to read a couple of the beginning parts, like which I showed you guys in one of the first live streams, you notice already how much better it is to buy when the prices are going down, right? And also the other thing I've always been telling you guys about physical growth, it says here, obvious prospects for physical growth in a business do not translate into obvious profits for investors. I explained to you guys 10 times why this is so and how it all works out. But again, this is just the first like 10 pages or something of the book. There's so much more info here, which I've been telling you guys about. And here again, I'm trying to refer it. And I'm also trying to get you guys to read this type of stuff because this can help you in your day-to-day life to kind of get more of the mindset for trading and to be in cryptocurrency. Because I can definitely understand that for a lot of people, it is still quite difficult and still quite hard. Now, if you're wondering about exactly the point I'm referring to, the silver lining here explains exactly what I'm trying to say with that, between quotes here, cheaper stocks, so for example, a lower XRP price, is actually a lot safer in the end than expensive XRP stock or whatever stock you're talking about. So, whenever there's gains, I think it's actually a little bit of a worse bet to buy. But on the contrary, we trend with the trade most of the time and not against it. And in this case also, there's just a lot of reasons why the price would go up, a lot of reasons why the price is just going to stay exactly where it is. But there's so many traps, as there's so many people who are anticipating these physical changes, these big gains in the future, that I think it's a little bit too much of a risk. Now, one thing you could do is actually start to look into a little bit more of the articles, see where some major resistances lie. And for example, if there's one at 29.7, right, we just bounced through that like it's nothing. You could argue for yourself, or you could make up like, okay, we've breached some major resistances already, because I mean 30 cents is for sure going to be one. If you breach some of those, you could be like, all right, you know, this resistance may act as a new support. I can just put my stop loss at, for example, 30 cents and just ride the wave upwards, you know, or anything along those lines. If you have a strategy in place, I definitely think there's still a lot of money to be made, even with these smaller term trades. But I just think the risk is pretty high, because it could do 5% today and minus 16% tomorrow, just because everybody is thinking exactly the same thing. SWOA is coming up, so the price is sort of going to go up, but in the end, people are going to be selling it after swell. So what are people going to do now? It's really, really hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. In the end, though, it's mostly the big institutions, right, that we're always speculating that are moving all this money. But yeah, it's cool to think you have a little bit of an influence. It's cool to at least think a little bit about that. Uncertain future. Now, again, this is a pretty long article on XRP's technical indicators that are bullish in anticipation of Ripple swell. We pretty much intuitively already covered why it is looking so bullish. There is a couple of technical points which you could check out here, like a couple of golden crosses that they mentioned. The channels are all looking good. All the signals are looking towards being bullish. But here is an uncertain future. Why is that? As the market prepares for this year's Swell conference, XRP is in an uptrend that resembles its price behavior prior to the conferences of 2017 and 18. Even though the sentiment around the crypto industry is different today than in previous years, because I mean, 2016, I have no idea what it was. It was just some people talking about it, but the run was not that crazy. 2017, purely built upon hype. 2018, I would say, was still hype, but more so hopium, hope, FOMO, more towards that, towards that end. And this year, we're already looking more at utility, not all the way there yet, but you know, it's going a little bit more away from speculation and turning towards utility, even though it's definitely mostly speculation here still. It seems like history could repeat itself. Based on the technical analysis previously presented, the crypto is bullish across its week 1 or 1 week, 3-day and 1-day chart. In addition, Peter Brandt, a renowned technical analyst with over 40 years of trading experience, stated that the recent swing low that XRP made provided some evidence that it is bottoming against Bitcoin. I just wanted to quickly bring that one back. We forgot all about Peter Brandt, right? Because actually, he is so famous for his predictions, right? And we all took it as a very positive thing when he pointed it out that XRP bottomed out against BTC. But everybody's forgetting about it now, right? Because it's just a little while ago. It's a couple of weeks ago. I don't think it matters. It's still really quite important because we're not done yet. We're not away from these zones yet. Despite the bullish sentiment around it, a report by the Crypto Rating Council concluded that XRP has a high probability of being classified as a security by the US SEC. And as I told you guys, this is again one of the reasons why I think that there's so many traps out there. For example, we can see plus 5 today. Let's say, for example, 5 big websites bring out an article like this. You know, CRC is saying XRP is going to be a security, you know, or are really worried XRP is going to be security, yada, yada, yada. Could really change public opinion towards XRP being all the way good to XRP being really quite risky, really scary. Could also really turn the sentiment real quick. Due to the regulatory uncertainty that surrounds this crypto, it will be wiser to remain cautious about it, since such a ruling could have a strong adverse impact on its price. Be cautious, guys. Be cautious. XRP priced to keep rising to 37 cents, providing it maintains the 27 cent zone, crypto trader believes. A crypto trader is bullish on the XRP price as long as it does not go under the 27 cent level, thus remaining in the green zone. So, again, basically what he's saying here is, oh wait, here's crypto Michael NL from the Netherlands. Hey, still doing great since the break of the falling wedge structure and up 50% since that. As long as we maintain 3350 area green zone, I'd be bullish on it. Target remaining intact, 4,000 and 4,700. Now, I actually have not checked out the analysis too deeply, and I'm not going to be doing so. Why? Because again, you have to be really cautious with what you trade here. So it's good to get a broad view from many people, but also I'm not getting my hopes up that far from from some analysts that I've not seen results of yet. I don't have the time, all right? It could definitely be that Crypto Michael here is a god in TA. I have just not tested him out yet. But again, he's featured in You today, so he must definitely have some valuable info, and also it looks quite legit. Now, what I wanted to state though here is that 27 cents is quite interesting, as we've been really talking about the quote-unquote 27-cent zone for the last weeks or so as well. Like, we've been kind of predicting / hoping for a break upwards. Well, it did happen, so that was actually good. And also, if you remember from one of my price prediction videos where I said, like, this is the only XRP price prediction you need, we said that if XRP breaks above 27.8 or something like that, we would probably end the year positively as well. At least that was what one of the other analysts said, or one of the other XRP community members, and we kind of took it over and gave it our own little twist. But that's still the idea that he had, and I think it's a pretty interesting one, right? I've been thinking about it a lot. I think it's still quite interesting. And last but not least of the articles, analysts eye XRP price boom as Ripple sees positive news cycle. Will XRP outperform Bitcoin? Well, in terms of gains, so XRP versus BTC, most likely yes. Will XRP outperform Bitcoin in terms of being number one? Most likely never. But guys, XRP is doing really, really good for themselves. A lot of developments being made, a lot of partnerships, a lot of positive news. Whole community is acting really quite greatly, and I'm really fortunate again to be part of this all. Really love it when you guys just comment some really valuable stuff down below, or when you guys send me articles on Twitter. It is really appreciated. I really, really like it, guys. But that was already it for this update for today, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Don't forget to press the like button on this video, comment something down below, hit the notification button on, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody.